Yeah. Hello everyone. In this video, we will be sharing the experience of Mr. Prince Kumar, who has been placed in MathWorks India Private Limited. He has been selected to work as an engineer in Engineering Development Group of MathWorks. Before we listen to Prince, I would like to introduce him formally to our viewers. Prince is a final year MTech student in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Bombay. For his MTech thesis project, he is working on a question answering system under the supervision of Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya. During his MTech, he has also worked as a teaching assistant for various courses such as CS 767, CS 101, etc. Before joining IIT Bombay, he has worked as an associate software engineer for Veritas Technology in Pune. He completed his BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Army Institute of Technology, Pune in 2018. Without further delay, I would request Prince to share his experience of getting placed in MathWorks. Thank you, Prince. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, hi. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Yes, Prince. So, Prince, could you please tell us a bit about the company MathWorks and then the profile for which you have been selected actually?
Okay, so MathWorks is an MNC. So I think we have used every engineering student would have used MATLAB as a product. So MATLAB and Simulink are two major leading products of MathWorks. So I have been fortunate enough to get placed in that company. So actually, I have been placed in this EDG group. So basically, the company came to campus with this profile. So every new recruit goes through this EDG group for a year or so, depending on the program. And after that, based on my interest and the projects that I'll select in MathWorks for an year, working under various projects, then I'll actually select my whole career path on MathWorks.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess this profile, the EDG profile, is for freshers actually.
Yeah, not yeah. I mean, whenever there is a campus recruitment done from MathWorks, so they generally get everyone from the campus to the EDG program. So basically, it gives all the students a chance to look at the various aspects in career because since they're just starting their career, so they look so like I have a core interest in machine learning, deep learning. So I'll get a chance there to work under various machine learning, deep learning projects. And if some cases, like if I don't like machine learning or deep learning in industry, so I can actually get another chance as well to work into development. Or let's say there are some GS people who like to work on hardware as well, right? Architecture as well. So they get a chance to work on various aspects. And once they decide after a year or so, and then they actually go to the core team. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, Prince. So, of course, we will talk about your placement experience as we progress. But before that, we can talk a bit about your department, that is Computer Science and Engineering. And all of us have heard a lot of good things about Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Bombay, starting from BTech to MTech, everything we have heard about. So, if you could tell us a bit about your course, of course, you are doing your MTech, but if you could talk a bit about your course, like are there any specializations and other programs in your department?
Yeah, see, IIT Bombay CSE, I mean, is one of the best department that you get in India, right? So, I mean, everyone has a dream to come here and study in the Department of Computer Science in IIT Bombay. So basically, as you have already introduced me, I'm doing my master's. So basically, there are multiple programs at IIT Bombay in my CSE department. Like we have BTech, we have MTech, now we have PhD as well, and the department is also starting with MS programs. So let me tell you about my program as well, which I have been taking. So I got to CSE department for my MTech via GATE. So I got a decent rank and came here. So according to the curriculum, like we have around 10 specializations which we are expected to complete. So like in IIT Bombay, like I have friends in electrical department as well. So they have like predefined specialization when they come into, then they're actually from day one they are totally focused towards particular specialization. But we don't have that system in IIT Bombay in CSE department. So what we are expected to do is once we come here in our first semester, then we are allowed to look into all the courses and select whichever course gives you a slight bit of spark or interest. Then we actually choose those subjects for a semester, or basically for a semester, because in the next semester we go for the seminar thing. Because once in a semester where you have actually explored various tracks in CS department. Like we have theoretical computer science, which includes algorithms and all compiler design. Then we have machine learning, deep learning, right? Then we have system side as well. So every student can, any student can come explore all these fields, and whenever he or she gets the interest in a particular field, then he can actually approach to a particular prof in that field for the seminar. And once the prof and the student gets the sync up, then they actually do go for their final year thesis in MTech. Yeah.
Yeah. So in case of masters, they like as you have mentioned that in case of electrical engineering, there are two type TA and RA programs are there. TA means 2 years, RA means 3 years. So is this the same in your department as well? TA, RA?
Yeah. Like I'm doing MTech for 2 years, so it's a TA program, teaching assistantship. So along with my MTech, I am expected to do some TA work where actually we guide professors, like for conducting exams, setting up question papers, invigilating the exams, right, correcting papers. There is another program RA as well. So under RA as well, there are two categories in my department. One is RA by a project, where actually when a student joins as an RA, it's a 3-year program, right? So
Yeah.
RA as a project, when the student joins, he's expected to work on a project right from the beginning. Like he is not expected to do any kind of TA work. Yeah, then actually, then the second part is where the RA student joins as a system admin into some labs where the particular student is responsible for taking care of all the labs and the equipment that is present in the lab, along with other students or PhD students. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yes, so I think this will also give an idea to our viewers that what are the various programs in CSE department at IIT Bombay. And as you have mentioned that CSE department had also started MS program very recently. So and already we are having MTech TARA, and now we are also having MS in CSE IIT Bombay.
It hasn't started. It was about to start this year, but again, due to COVID and all, things got pushed up. It would have been started with this batch itself, but unfortunately, whatever I have heard, I mean, this year they haven't taken any MS student till now. But maybe next year.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think MS. So if MS, gets started maybe in the upcoming 1 or 2 years, so I think CSE department will be the very first one to offer this type of course, MS, in IIT Bombay.
I mean, yeah, in IIT Bombay, this will
Yeah.
be the first kind of MS program that gives, because MS we have other IITs as well which actually provides MS programs. Like IIT Madras has this program, Kanpur has this, Delhi has this. Yeah, but in IIT Bombay, this will be the first time that our department will be giving this MS program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Prince. So now we can talk a bit, about some other aspects of being a student at CSE IIT Bombay. So as we have heard, or in fact, we also know, from some of my friends that the CSE students at IIT Bombay get placed in the first few days of the placements. Means they are, they are on a very high demand, I must say. So my point is, or I am a bit curious to know, like, what extra efforts do you guys put for this, or what extra measures? How do you prepare for the placements? Like, how does this happen actually?
See, the thing is, actually we are actually very lucky enough to be in this department, right? So right now, if you see the market is very hot for CSE students, right?
Yes.
So, and being an IITian and from CSE students, it actually adds a lot to your profile. So I mean, yeah, we do take efforts, but the major thing has to be given to this market and how things are being taken into the market, where there's actually demand for more and more CSE students. If you see very carefully, many of the companies are actually recruiting, whether you are from CSE department or not. If you are from other department as well, like civil, mechanical, or electrical, and you are actually good at coding, so you will get hired. So it's not like that we are only like CSE people gets placed. But yeah, luckily we are very lucky enough to and fortunate enough to be in this department. And regarding the extra effort, I mean, see, everyone prepares for placement. Even every branch prepares for placement. It's just that the company that is coming, it gives our department, the CSE departments, a lot of opportunities. So that's why we have, I mean, we have n number of companies to apply for, and each student needs just one company to get placed, right? So that's the main reason where actually we are getting placed so quickly within very few days of the placement season. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. So, do you believe that, like, in case of means a master student, we all come to know that MTP helps you in your placement. So, you should be very sincere or selective while choosing our master's project. So, do you think that your MTP has helped you in your placements?
Yeah, see, whenever we join an MTech program, the majority of the MTech program goes into MTP. So,
Yes.
like for first semester, we are expected to do coursework. From second semester, the procedure for MTP starts. Like first, we do seminar under our guide, and then that guide continues to do a whole 1 year long MTP project. So, this MTP project has a huge influence on the placements as well. So, if you are doing a good project, so like I have many students where many friends where their whole interview went on their MTP. Even I heard from my seniors as well when they shared their experience, like couple of like 40 45 minutes of interview, they just went on their MTPs. So selecting a good MTP project on the area which actually interests you, accept to that. And yeah, definitely if you're doing good in MTP, then I mean, the company picks you up very quickly. Ki, हाँ, okay, you have done some considerable amount of work. You have the domain knowledge. We need you. We'll pick you up very easily, and it has a great influence. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And apart from this, like in case of CSC, means in other departments we always hear this term core non-core. Okay, like we have some core companies for which students prepare. There are some non-core. Now, depending upon our own definition, we can choose core and non-core. But now the point is, in case of CSC students, how do you guys differentiate core non-core, or even it, and does this even exist in your case, or it does not exist at all?
Actually, we don't have this concept of core non-core like that. But what like why? I mean, before the placement starts now, so we started looking. The companies do register themselves on the placement portal. So while filling, we actually look out ki what we want to see ourselves, in which area we want to build up our career. So like we don't have this concept on core non-core, but we have this like we want to go into development, we want to go into machine learning or not, or we want to go into consultancy field. So these are three aspects which we actually look on, and then we try to see कि अच्छा ठीक है. Like me, I have actually worked as a developer for a year. So actually, I wanted to switch field from machine or from development to data science. So that's why I came to MTech. So whenever while filling the JAF, we have this job application form. So while choosing any company, while filling the form of any company, I was very particular about ki whether I'll get data science work or title from that company or not. So that's what we generally look. We CS people look into a company.
Okay, yeah. So as you have mentioned that there are three different domains for which means which you guys look for actually. Like the first you mentioned that development, then machine learning, and the consultancy. So what type of roles are offered in case of consultancy?
Like this year we had various roles. Like some of my friends got placed as a consultant. I don't know the actual job description because whenever I saw a consultancy profile, I never actually filled that form. But whatever I have heard from my friends, I mean, they have to interact with they work for a company and they actually interact with some other company being their client, and then they actually give some I don't know, they give some expert advice or some consulting advice to that company as well. It's normal consulting job. Oh, sorry, we have one more area like which includes finance as well, where Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, these companies as well. So people do look into go to that company as well.
Okay, okay.
So, but not much idea about consultancy. Sorry, I mean.
Yeah, definitely. You were targeting for something else, so that thing only you will be knowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Prince. So now we can again, of course, since you are from CSC, so means I have also some of my own questions, and I also received some questions for you from some other audience actually. Like people always
Okay.
want to listen to CSC students at IIT Bombay. So we will talk about those questions as we progress. But before that, we can talk a bit about your placement experience. So means now we can talk about the things which happened after signing the JAF. Like
Yeah.
was there any test, resume shortlisting, these things? If you could tell us a bit.
Yeah, okay. So this is regarding MathWorks only, which I'll be telling. So I have given 3 to 4 interviews, right? So, but let's talk about MathWorks, where I got placed. So after filling that JAF, we have this one pre-placement talk that was online for 45 minutes or an hour and so, where we actually got an overview of the company, ki what we can expect once we join the company, what are the projects the company is working on, and where is the company located, and some very basic questions which where we interacted with the manager and the HR that were actually conducting the session. Post that, then we had one written test. I mean, it was online. So this whole placement season went online because of this COVID now. So we had this uh, one placement test. It was of 1.5 hours, I guess. So it has two sections. It had two sections. So one was this MCQ part where we were tested on basic CS knowledge, machine learning knowledge, and the other part was coding. So where we were expected to, there was a question we were expected to code and pass the test cases. So that was the round one. Which had after that there was a short list based on that thing, based on the written that we gave, and then there was this group discussion round. Yeah, so basically we were divided into 10 each, I guess I remember correctly, at 10 each. And there was one topic where we had to do this GD online. So after group discussion, then I had 3 rounds of interviews, and last one interaction, normal interaction, on where actually I got to know that I have been placed. So after this GD, then again everything was a knockout round. So once you perform poorly, you're knocked out of that particular company.
Yes.
So when the return happened, then the GD happened, then the technical interview came.
So we will talk about your interview in detail as we progress, but before that, we can talk a bit about your test. Like you have mentioned that in the written test, there were some basic MCQs on data science, machine learning, and CS concepts, and then there were coding questions. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so if you could tell us, like, how did you prepare for those MCQs? Means the motive behind asking this question is that normally students access, several platforms like Gigs for Gigs. They also access for coding. They access HackerRank, HackerEarth, Lead Code, InterviewBit. But are there some other resources which we don't know that you guys only know? Some hidden resources or something that you have been using actually?
Okay. So the MCQ preparation was the easiest part since we all gave gate now. So it was very easy for us. We just want, so luckily enough, we were at our home, so we had our notes since our gate times. So we just revised those. So it was that we don't have to read the whole gate syllabus. There were very few selected areas which company targets, like operating systems. Then there were some networking questions, data success algorithms. So these are the things which we just went through our notes, and some of the gate questions as well. So that ramped up for our MCQs related to that field. And for machine learning and data science, I mean, we had these courses in our curriculum, right? Like I took machine learning foundations of machine learning, advanced machine learning, NLP, these kind of courses I took. So from there on, we actually got an idea of what kind of, we had the knowledge. It's just that we have to apply that knowledge to a particular question. Plus there were some blocks, like we actually thoroughly followed Medium towards data science and analytics with the, I guess, yeah, for for MCQs for that. And regarding coding, see, it varies from person to person what platform actually start. Like many of my friends started with this Geeks for Gigs. Some of them actually went for InterviewBit, some of them went for Lead Code. Like me, I have been coding since my undergrad days. So actually I took part in various coding contexts as well. So it was not the case where I was actually starting from scratch for my interview preparation or coding preparation for the companies. So I had the background and the knowledge key where am I lacking. And apart from that, our department had conducted some various tests, department level tests. Even our institute had this program where this actually, for our preparation, they started conducting this institute level coding tests on Hacker. It was HackerRank platform, as I remember correctly. So we practice on that, and some here and there question, like for a particular question, if anyone feels weak, or like I know, let's take an example of binary search or any DP problem where I feel I'm lagging, I'm not performing well. So actually I used to go to various sites and then pick up those problems and then solve. But not a complete strategy if thoroughly followed a particular website like that.
Yeah, definitely. So like I got this question from someone else who wanted to know about, like, are there any hidden resources which you guys don't know and CS people know? So I'm asking this question.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So as you have mentioned that in this round, in the written test round, there were only technical questions, MCQ questions, followed by coding questions, where you have to write and pass the test cases. So how many coding questions were there? Where were to write the code?
So MathWorks, there were one, yeah. Actually, there were too many tests. So the thing
Yeah.
is, like, once the test starts now, then you don't actually remember how many tests you have actually given. But for MathWorks, I guess it was one or two questions, not more than that, because we had MCQ as well, and that there was time constraint.
Yeah.
So max to max, there would have been two questions. Yeah,
Yeah. And it was somewhat 1 hour test or 1 hour 30 minutes test.
yeah, 130, I guess. 130, I guess. Yeah.
131. And they were not having any aptitude questions like aptitude, verbal ability, these things.
Not in MathWorks, I suppose. There could have been one or two verbal aptitude questions, like numerical questions, time in series, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other companies did have this aptitudes
Yes,
round
yes.
where they actually took it. But for MathWorks, no. It was totally focused on CS concepts.
Okay, okay, yes. So after this test was conducted, then they released the list of students shortlisted for the group discussion, GD,
Yeah, for further rounds. Yeah,
for
correct.
further rounds. And in that GD, as you have mentioned, that they were creating group of 10 students.
Yeah, due to the constraint, whatever they had, so we had this 10 group people. So
Yeah.
where we actually did the GD.
Okay, so do you remember the topic which was given in the GD? Do you remember the topic?
Yeah. I mean, the topic was very generic. It was uh, open source versus commercial
Oh,
softwares. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's a
we
good
had to
topic,
discuss.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much time was given for this discussion? 10 minutes or how much?
I see. If this would have been a general discussion, then we would have sit on a round table, then discuss and kept our points one by one. But since it was online, so everyone is expected to speak for 30 to 40 seconds. And for 1 minute, yeah, for 1 minute we were given. Ki, once the topic was given, we were given 2 minutes to actually gather our thoughts, prepare our points, whatever we wanted to speak. Then one by one, we got chance. Everyone got a chance to speak up their side of the uh, which which software they support. So you got 1 minute, yeah.
Okay, so everyone was being given 1 minute, and there was no like means they were asking like now you speak or now something like that, or
Yeah, the moderator was actually calling out the names. Ki, okay, now Prince, you speak up. Now next says, let's say Abhishek. Now Abhishek, you can go on. It was like that.
okay, okay. So and you have to speak only once for 1 minute, only once.
Yeah, we were expected to speak only once.
Because normally in GD, first we speak once, or maybe we can speak twice, and finally we have to summarize or you have to conclude as well. In case of offline GD, we have to conclude as well, or we have to maybe we have to come up to a certain ground where most of us would agree. But I think in case of online, they were calling out names, and you have to speak for whatever time you have been allotted, like 1 minute.
Yeah, the thing was there was some time constraint as well because many of us were there were many interviews scheduled. So a company was given a particular duration key you can only conduct all your round whatever rounds you have you are given this duration and then you need to wrap it up. So because of that as well and this whole online situation, they only gave us once to speak.
Yes, yes. Yes, Prince. Prince, so GD is something which is a bit uncommon. Uncommon as in sense that lot of companies do not conduct GD. Usually they have test, resume shortlisting followed by interview. Yeah. So, but I think MathWorks and a very few number of firms they conduct GD. So, how do you guys prepare for GD, or like how should we prepare for GD?
Okay, see, for a CSC student, you don't need to prepare for GD. I mean, it was just one odd case where we ever expected to do this GD round, but it was like 1 in 100 case where we did this GD. But for a particular student, for a CSC student, or if you're applying for the CS profile, you don't need to prepare for GD. And if by case like we got a chance to do a GD, whatever point comes to your mind, just pick that up. Nothing to prepare extra for GD as well. It's just that you need to have some good communication skills and you should be able to speak fluently and put your thoughts in front of everyone. That's all. No special preparation, I guess, for this.
Yeah. So in this case of this online GD, like did you realize that there are certain points which one should keep in mind while going for an online GD? Like now things have shifted. The paradigm is shifted actually. Everything was being done offline, but now things are being done online. So several things have changed. So do you feel any key points or any do's and don'ts for online GD?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things which I took care while doing GD since it was first time I was doing GD online. First was when we were giving this points now, when we were given the time to actually gather our points. So I actually had this notepad along with me. So I quickly, so if you are doing a live GD, then you don't get this paper pen and thing to
Yeah.
actually gather your thoughts. So once it's online, so you are at your own disposal. You have all the resources at your hand. You can do anything. So I had this nice paper and pen where I actually kept 3 to 4 points which I was expected to speak. So I wrote down that point, and plus I made sure that I had a mobile, and since there was 1 minute given to me, so I made sure that I don't exceed 1 minute. So I had both thing in front of my screen. Here there was points, here there was mobile. When I started speaking, I just turned on my stopwatch and I spoke for around 40 to 45 minutes. So I think these two things anyone can do, and yeah, that works like charm, I guess.
Yes.
The rest, everything is fine. Just we don't have to I mean, what to say, fumble, or you don't have to be nervous whether it's a GD or not. Just speak up your thought, that's all.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So, Prince, in this case, in this GD, like you have mentioned that you can write the points and everything. So, was this a video call or only an audio call? You were connecting using
No, it was video, totally video call.
totally video.
So we were seeing all the participants in that group as well. So like, if I'm speaking, my video used to come up, and all there were 2 to 3 team members from the hiring team which were actually looking at our body language as well. So while we were speaking, so it was totally video call. But that's fine, I guess.
And you have to be informals, obviously.
Yeah, we were expected to be informal, so yes, we had this nice shirt, tie, and jacket and all. Then we were sitting for whole day for the placements. Yeah.
And it was online, so you can suit up for the upper part, but lower you can wear anything.
Yeah, yeah, that was the case. Many of me, including me, many of my friends said that we were totally well tipped up from the upper part. Niche, it was lower and all. That was fine.
Yeah, I think that is an extra perk of things being online.
Yeah, I mean, you are at your own disposal. You can do anything. So, but just you need to present yourself in this hub as well. That should be presentable. Rest, you can do anything.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So after this GD was conducted, then the list of students shortlisted for the interview was announced, right?
Yeah, since it was not, the list was not announced, so they actually personally contacted each student one by one. So like in our group, out of 10, only 2 got selected for the further round. So we were personally contacted by our placement team. Okay, Prince, you have this interview scheduled at this link. So we used to get this Zoom link or Google Meet link.
Okay, okay, okay.
So we used to get these personal messages or calls. Okay, Prince, okay, you are moved to the next round. Please join this at so and so time, or be ready in 5 minutes. You are being interviewed for this round.
So I am assuming that GD was being done on the same day of interview, on the same day of the interview.
Yeah, everything happened apart from this thing,
Yeah.
the written exam. Everything happened in 3 to 4 hours span on that particular
So
day.
GD and interview was conducted on the same day, and people who cleared GD, they were being called in batches for the interviews.
Yeah, like the GD happened. The team gave couple of names, so they started scheduling interview right next after that. So every company gets a particular slot. Like
Yeah.
you have 3 to 4 hours, and you complete all your rounds, and then pick up the student that you want.
Yes, Prince. So definitely, you gave a very nice thought about GD's test and everything, and hopefully people next year, those who will listen to placement, they will get an idea to how to get ready, because we are not sure how the mood in which things will be done this time. It might be a blend of online, offline. It might be online. Anything it might be. So they can prepare accordingly. And so I think now we can switch on to interview. But before that, we can talk, a few other things like resume. So resume is something which is being frozen in the very beginning of the placement season. So what are some tips or tricks which you like to give for upcoming students? Like how should they shape their resume? Because many a time people are a bit skeptical or confused about shaping their resume. So if you could tell us a bit about shaping the resume.
Yeah, okay, that's actually a good point. So there is a freezing time where actually our resume gets freezed. So it was our resume got frozen by August or mid-August, I guess.
Yes,
So by
mid-August.
frozen, we means ki we are not allowed to change a single word in our resume. So once there is a portal, we submit a resume, whatever points we have in our resume, and once that's frozen, and that is being shared to all the companies while you apply. So now regarding resume preparation, again, it comes back from day one where you actually start joining MTech. So whatever you have done before MTech, that's totally fine. So I mean, you whatever you done, that's fine. You did some hard work, prepared for GATE, came here to IIT Bombay, and then from day one, the student needs to actually plan things. Ki how he or she is actually looking forward to take his MTech and how he will actually try to shape up the resume. That's where I actually totally we had this discussion where the importance of MTP and the guide comes up, where you actually expected to do a good MTP project because once you give this resume, the resume starts with your name, and the first thing that you put up is your MTP, what you are actually doing in a master's. So like we had this discussion earlier now for MTP. So this is the part where actually it shows you what kind of MTP project you are doing, and it puts a good amount of weight to your resume. If you're doing a good project and a good guide, then it totally adds up to your resume. And the resume should have a blend of everything. Like it should have projects. If you're doing some extracurricular activities as well, then it should have that as well. If you have PORs like we have this in IIT Bombay, it should have that. But if you haven't done anything, that's totally fine. You come join MTech, do courses, and pick courses which actually have projects. Okay, so the resume should consist everything. So like if you look at a general resume from an IDB CSC student, so we have these projects as well. So whenever you join this MTech program in IIT Bombay now, so you actually go for the courses which have actually projects. So once you do those projects, it adds up to your experience as well, and you can add those to a resume. So once you have some good projects, some good extracurricular activities, there are n number of activities going on at IIT Bombay. So you do that, and yeah, that should work fine for your resume.
Yeah. Yes. So as you have mentioned that your MTP, you should choose your MTP very wisely because that will be the first thing which the interviewer will notice in your resume. And you have also mentioned that your resume should consist like a mixture of everything: projects, MTP, your POR, extracurricular, everything. Okay. So now this also brings to another aspect like POR and CPI, because in several departments we listen that CPI is very, very important. So what is the scenario in terms of CPI in your department? Like, what is the decent CPI? What do you call decent CPI?
Yeah, see, the CPI thing for CPI is needed only for the shortlisting part
Yes.
for interviews, right? So I remember majority, I mean, 80 to 85% of the companies had the cutoff of 7.5 or 8. So if you're well above 8, then it works like charm for you. You are well too good to go. And there are very few companies which actually need 9 plus CPI, 9.5 plus CPI, which you can actually ignore. Okay, ठीक है, you have around 150 companies at your disposal. You can actually discard 4 to 5 companies. But yeah, if you're regular at your studies, then you will be able to score more than 7.5 or 8, and that works like charm. So that's fine. But yeah, getting a CPI in CSC department is a little tricky or tough because everything is relative, and all the students that have actually performed well in GATE are actually here. So it's a throat cut competition here. So yeah, maintaining the CPI is a bit tough, but it's quite manageable with regular studies. And second part regarding POR, it's good to have it, but it doesn't add too much weightage to your resume. If you can add 1 or 2 points, that's fine. But it shouldn't be like you have so many PORs and you don't have projects like that in a resume. Yeah. But because since you are in a CSC and you are expected to do some development or any kind of coding job, so you're expected to have more technical knowledge rather than this PORs kind of stuff. Yeah.
So, maybe for the consultant or finance role, people might need POR, but I think for development roles, machine learning roles, POR might not help you that much. This is my perception.
Yeah, that's actually true. Where various students target various companies, so according to that company, they prepare their resume. So that's where they actually add their points by preparing resume. Yeah.
Yes, Prince. So of course now we have talked about resume as well, and we have also discussed the significance or role of POR CPI. These things we have discussed.